Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Infodump. We've got our guest here, Ella, my housemate. Go ahead and say hello.
Hello.
Hello. Alrighty. So today we're going to be talking about a few topics with karate. I'm going to start off by, let's talk about this photo we got in the background. What's going on here?
So this is a photo of me, 2 years ago, and I was, performing a, kata, which is the Japanese word for, like, karate form, at Hinderly's open mic night.
How about that?
That's what that was, yes. So,
So,
hence the pretty fairy lights and the piano and stuff.
yeah, I was wondering why we got the piano and the mic and stuff, and you're just there ready to fight someone.
Yes.
Yeah. So when did your interest in karate first start?
Um, Basically I didn't have a choice in it. My family, my sister was really interested in karate, and she kind of got my family into it. Like, that was the thing she wanted to do when she was a kid. And so my family joined a dojo with her. She was in the in like the kids section, and they were in the adult section, and they did karate with her. And then I came along and I also did karate because my older sister did, and I was like, I have to do everything that she does
Right.
because that's the way it is.
That that
So,
that that is how siblings work.
mhm.
Yeah.
But I think how that like that kind of made karate like a part of my life. Like, it just was something that I grew up around, and I grew up around um every summer, like when I go back to Montana, I study with the same sensei that I had when I was like 5.
Wow. That
Yeah.
that's
So
that's
like,
incredible.
hmm
So you wrote on here on our prep document that karate is for everyone.
yes.
So what did you mean by that?
Oh my gosh, I forgot I made notes. Okay. Oh, thank goodness, it's right here. Okay, so what that means to me is that you don't have to be able-bodied. You can be of any age, um any sex. Like, it's very I feel like there is a misconception that, like, women cannot do karate. I'm certified in 2 styles. I have 2 black belts in 2 different styles. um and karate is like for everyone. It's for
Right.
me. It's for anyone who wishes to better themselves physically and mentally, and join a. I have another topic down here, which is
Go
karate
for it.
family. And I think that karate is um very communal. That's the word that I'm looking for. It's not a group sport. Like, it's not a team sport, but
There's a community within it, right?
there's a community within karate. There is a specifically, like, with your dojo is very my mom and I were talking about it, and she does karate. um and there's the part of, like, the karate family is like the teacher, who, or like the sensei. And then there's like a hierarchy. There's the
Right.
teacher, the like kind of the upper belt students who are like, purple, brown, and black belts, or like higher belts depending on what style you have. There are different color belts. um but most styles of karate and martial art have like a ranking of like certain color belts, and then there is like a systematic color of belts that donate, like, you have learned certain things and are able to do certain skills.
Right, so it's like the
um
league ranking system, but like it actually matters.
yes. Spill's
Got
bringing
it.
it back to league. Okay. um um so teacher, higher belt students, and then like lower belt students, like basically like newer students or beginning students. um And what is very interesting about that is that the sensei is not the only teacher. The even younger belts will teach, like, so there's a sensei who teaches everyone in like a group class, but often in my first dojo, like even when I was like a purple and brown belt and a blue belt, even I would take younger students and we would like break apart, and
Right.
I would teach like the white, yellow, and green belts the forms that I had learned years ago. And so
that's interesting because
it's not like one person teaching everyone. It's this one person has taught me for many years and years and years, and I have all that knowledge, and then
it's almost like your duty to share it. As
a part of like that community, I like, it's almost like I'm learning karate like to teach it, almost like,
right.
You know, as a teacher, like there is something very different about knowing something yourself and being able to teach something. You have to know it so well to be able to teach it.
Right, it's like an entirely different level of mastery. No, I was like going to comment that whole system of, okay, sensei is going to teach these students learn it, they grow, they've got the discipline, they've got everything that they need to for certain levels, and then as they progress through levels, they teach it, and and teaching something is a great way to solidify your knowledge as well. It tests your knowledge, but it's also a learning style. Like if you're able to explain something to somebody else, and you're forced to continue explaining something to somebody else, it really deepens your level of understanding of it.
Mm-hmm. And so I think that's something I really like about karate, is that you are both the teacher and the student, like in so many different ways.
That reminds me of the saying, this is the student who has, like, the student has become the master. Is that something that you feel is pretty representative of karate? Like, it is something that actually applies where, like, yeah, the student, it's kind of like more of a common misconception.
I think the connotation of that phrase is like the student has like overpassed the master, and I think it's not representative of exactly what I'm thinking, but it is a good example of like the student like now has grown into like become a master, not like the master, because they...
Yeah, it's not like a Sith scenario where you got to kill the master. It's not a rule of two.
Yeah.
There are many senseis out like there. You're many people are allowed to teach karate and be masters of karate. I want to ask you a little bit more about the philosophy of karate. What's the philosophy of karate? What are what do you love about the philosophy of karate?
I'm gonna pull up a thing. Okay, let's see. What is it called? Shotokan. Golly, what is that called? Sophie.
And just as a reminder, if anybody in the chat has any questions for Ella, go ahead and share them in just type them in, and we will address them as we go. This is an interactive live podcast. That's part of the beauty of this.
Yes, I would love to hear questions from people and what people like want to know about someone who's just like willing to talk and like elucidate.
Exactly. I mean, there's something special about feeling like people are interested in something you care about.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyways.
So I don't want to spend too much time I'm looking for like a specific there's like a certain thing that you recite. Recite thing. At the beginning and end of
every session,
like the session, yeah. Philosophy. Concepts.
Well, while you're looking for, you got it.
No, I'll just like talk about it.
Right.
Maybe if there's a break, I could.
Yeah, well, there will be a break probably in about 13 minutes. So that way we can disable pre-roll ads because Twitch. Mm-hmm. But anyways, we have a question in the chat from Viking Mood. Any perspectives on martial arts represented in popular culture? For instance, Karate Kid, Avatar: The Last Airbender. I think that's interesting because that's one of the questions we were talking about in preparation, right?
Yeah.
Because something y'all should know is that Ella and I just binged the hell out of Atla. We
Yes,
we
we did.
watched every episode within what, like 3 weeks, maybe
Hmm.
less, which is a heavy binge for busy college students who had way too much. No, don't worry about it. No, Viking, that's a great thing. It's like it's
Yeah.
cool to see that I guessed a question that people would be interested in. But anyways, what do you think?
Hmm.
What are some good representations? What are some
Um.
bad representations?
Okay. Atla, great representation. Great. I really like the difference of styles that they represent. Like it's not just like karate and everybody does like punches and kicks and like certain things. It's very like the waterbenders have like
Yeah,
more like smoother movements, and the earthbenders have I'm sitting down, but like they have like low stances, and
yeah.
they're very solid, and
Air has all those circular motions, and
circular.
it's being like the leaf,
Mm-hmm.
and then fire is just
Is
power and
fire is very like straight, like very straight through,
yeah.
whereas yeah, I don't have to get into it, but I think that's very
Yeah.
representative of like different styles of martial arts. Um, I think Karate Kid's not bad. Karate Kid's okay.
Which Karate
One that
Kid do you
I
prefer? The older Karate Kids or the newer one?
woof, 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 woof.
The because when I think like what I've recently watched with Karate Kid was the one with was it Jaden Smith?
Yes, James.
And it was just take off the jacket, put the jacket back on, and that kind of like what do you think of that? Do you take off the jacket in karate?
um, actually, you know what? I think something I'm not exactly sure. Maybe I put it in the philosophy, but like um the relationship that I have with my senseis is a very and like the relationship I have with karate is very holistic, which
Hmm.
means like when I go to the dojo, and this kind of goes into the philosophy, we're not taught just how to move our body, we are taught how to discipline our mind. And like some things we recite at the beginning and end of class are like I will not harm others, um, I will I will respect myself and others. I will there's something about like the perfection of self. Like I will do my very best every day to improve myself. I will try my hardest to improve myself in this session and throughout my life. Um and so something that the take off the jacket, put on the jacket, or like pick up the jacket, drop the jacket. That's he was putting the thing. If in the movie you remember, like he
Yeah,
would drop his jacket when he came in the door, and that like bugged his mom, and like it like hurt their relationship a little bit because like it wasn't that specific thing, but it was like a point of contention, and he wanted like the son to like respect like his mother's wishes and respect like they were in a new place, and she was like needed their relationship to like be good. And the sensei like knew that, and he in his karate class had him work on things like
yeah, like day-to-day
outside of
tasks.
karate. Like putting up a jacket is not karate, but the holistic approach of like the things that you learn in the dojo you will take out into the world. I think that actually is kind of representative. Even that one small moment that you mentioned, I think is kind of represents that. But
Sweet.
um, the one thing that I want to mention is that is a really good representation that I've watched this summer is Ip Man
It
or
man.
IP Man. Ip
Yeah.
Man is such, oh my god, it's great.
Yeah.
So the Ip Man movie is a oh, what do they call it? Wing Chun. It is a style of Chinese um, kung fu. I was going to say karate, but it's Chinese as kung fu. That was invented by a woman, which is very cool because like that's not that doesn't happen a lot. But the story of Ip Man is of this master who used his karate to help his people in his city during the Japanese invasion in
Is that the 1930s one, or was that before?
I think it was the 1930s. Yeah, it was the Second World War.
Yeah, so that's the start of the Second World War. Yeah, Nanking and such.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The
So
karate.
Go ahead.
The karate's so good. The karate is so good. I mean, the kung fu is so good.
Yeah.
So good. Watch it. People
Will
in
do.
chat.
Yeah.
Watch it.
Well, chat's saying that Ip Man is bomb, and that they're also here to learn karate, and that it's pretty big brain. So,
yes.
But yeah, how about, is there any popular media that you can think of that's just like a sin with their representation of martial arts? Like just absolutely disgraceful. Or really misrepresenting martial arts off the top of your head? Or do you just like avoid that media? Is that just like it hurts your soul too much, you can't bring yourself to watch it?
I wouldn't say I consume a lot of media about martial arts, so that I wouldn't be able to like infodump about as much and like have as much insight about.
For sure.
I think maybe less than like media, I would say just like misconceptions about karate, just like in general. Like I would say that it's only for certain people. Like you have to be like a big buff guy or like in the military or
yeah, these stereotypical representations of martial artists.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like as you said, karate is for everyone.
Karate is for everyone. If you have something that I want to say earlier that I got distracted because I just talked about something else and distracted myself was all the senseis that I've like studied with help you where you are at. So if you are not like fully able, like if you had like I don't know, like scoliosis or something, or if you had muscle atrophy. I think my first sensei had a student for a few months who had an issue with a medical issue with muscle tone, and he just like didn't have like a lot of muscle tone because of something. Yeah. Right. And so your sensei has so much knowledge about the body, and like they will use their knowledge to help you holistically. They will not just like say like do a stance, like do this thing. They will say like, okay, I'm going to like meet you where you're at. These are the things that you're able to do. I'm going to like accommodate some things like for you this way, and I'm going to challenge you in these certain ways that will build you up. Even if you have like scoliosis and you can't, stand a certain way, they will like work on like your lower half and like work on your stances, or and by extension like having a solid lower body like can help. I'm not a master, I wouldn't know, but maybe like working on your lower stances and strengthening your core will help your spine and help reduce pain if you have strength in your core.
Right.
And so karate is very like holistic in that sense, not just about like, I would say karate is not just about learning how to fight. I think is the main thing that if people are watching this that I would want them to take away. It's not just like learning how to beat someone up. That is not what karate is about. That is no.
It's the wrong reason to learn karate.
Yes.
Yeah, mm-hmm. I've definitely heard that. Yeah, I know karate. I'm like, and they show that as a threat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. So the first thing you recite is or are you gonna say a question? But like the first thing you recite is like, I will not use my knowledge to harm people. I will use this only for self-defense and for the protection of others.
Right.
If you want to learn karate for self-defense, yes. If you want to learn karate to fight people,
Yeah. So I'm gonna read the question. It's a fairly long question, and then we're gonna have to take a commercial break because Twitch pre-roll ads. But before that too, I want to say because I didn't want to interrupt to say this, but thank you for the follow, Viking Mood. I really appreciate it. But yeah, so the question, this is from my brother Ben. Okay, so I have a question. For once this thread is over. So my partner did karate growing up, got to 2nd degree black belt, and I was wondering, are the belt ranks standardized between instructors or across different dojos? And if this really applies at all, are the teaching and practicing methods standardized? Like, for example, my partner's exams, there were 3 areas for which they were evaluated: sparring, forms, and something I don't remember right now. We're going to take a quick ad break. And then after that, we're going to talk about this. Alrighty. This is so not, and this isn't. So whenever there's a commercial break on Twitch, by the way, because some of y'all are still here. Thanks, Nelly, for saying you like my shirt. I appreciate that. It's a shirt that I do like. But not everybody gets a commercial when I initiated a commercial break. I don't believe mods get it. Subscribers don't get it because I have ad-free viewing turned on. And yeah, I think that's about it. But the reason why I have to run ads is that if I don't run 60 seconds of ads per 30 minutes, then they re-enable pre-roll ads. And that is like death to discoverability. But anyways, so yeah, but anyways, the question, you got the question there, right? Like I said it, yes. And you heard it. Cool.
Yes.
Well, Ben's not a mod. So, I mean, Ben is a mod, so we could just start delving into it.
Oh, okay. Golly, what is that?
Yeah. And while you're preparing, I have some stuff I wanted to say about Atla. About specifically, okay, and if you haven't watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, spoiler alert. But in the final Agni Kai, something I wanted to mention was how, like, and I saw a post about this, and so Zuko and Azula at the start, you could tell that their fighting was fairly linear, very straightforward. And so they were able to match each other evenly. Azula was able to dispel any of Zuko's attacks. Zuko dispelled any of Azula's attacks at the start of it. But then Azula started, crashing in on him, put on the fucking boosters, and just zoomed at him, and was zooming around him, and just firing linear blasts at him, but circling him. And then he did that breakdancing move with fire from the feet, and just swept around. And like Azula wasn't ready for it because firebending, and at least in the show, has this more linearity to it, linear power. And Zuko brought out this the circular motions of airbending. I just wanted to gush on that for a second. Like, do you ever, do you ever find that yourself like mixing different styles? Like, have you do people mix different styles other than MMA being this is a popular fighting thing? Like, is this? Mm-hmm. Or do people like learn from other styles to better their karate, or use karate to better their other martial arts styles?
Definitely. Mm-hmm.
Sweet. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So back to Ben's question.
Mm-hmm. So so let me talk about what I know. So for Shotokan, my sensei is a part of the there's like a World Federation for karate. There are global like groups for certain styles. So there's one for Shotokan, and so my sensei is like
I think a member of
certified.
It, yeah.
And so as a part of that certification, like he's a member of this group, and for his higher dans or like higher belts, like above 5th dan, you you don't do demonstrations of like physicality. Like you don't need to do kumite, which is sparring, or kata, which is forms. Um, you basically it's kind of like if you can imagine like a master's, like a thesis, like
Right.
you focus on like a specific like an example for like a sixth dan like non-certification, like a sixth like a test basically to get your sixth degree black belt. um he gave a presentation on like a certain aspect of karate. Basic, just think of it as like a thesis, like you
Right.
give
Effectively a capstone presentation.
yes, on a certain thing. So and he travels to meetings around the world. He's from the Caribbean, so he goes to meetings in the Trinidad and Tobago, um, uh, and like conferences. He goes to like
Yeah.
karate conferences, and at one I think he did um, like his presentation, his like thesis test, and then got certified in like a his next highest belt. Um, yeah, so that's how it works for Shotokan, and there is like everybody is held to the same standard. My first um um sensei um learned he learned from a lot of different people, and he has actually made his own style, which is
Hmm.
called Shin Karate Do. And so there is no like you know World Federation for Shin Karate Do. It's just him, but he has studied with or not studied with, but like he's met up with in the golden age of karate in the 70s. Karate was getting really big in America, and he was in San Francisco, and there was like I think um golly, I don't want to get this wrong, but I think he studied with someone who had studied with Bruce Lee.
Wow.
Yeah, so he's gotten around. He's like practiced with a yeah. I think more practice with some of um like people who really started karate in the U.S.
That's sweet.
So he kind of is just doing his own thing. So like it can like those are like the two like very to answer Ben's question. Also, hi Ben, it's great to hear from you. To like the very two like ends of the spectrum of like this person is just doing their own thing, um, and like their own style and just teaching people, and then like this person is part of like a world like certified like uh coalition. I don't know, like
Yeah.
where there's like there are rule books of like for this test you do this, for this second test you do this, and then for like my first sensei is just like okay, you need to like be proficient in these things that I and he has pulled or not pulled like his style is very actually similar to Shotokan. Like the forms are very similar. He's just made rather than tweaks like in the forms, it's just like in the style of how you do it. He's very focused on footwork and I wouldn't say Shotokan less so, but like the my first sensei Shin Karate Do style is like very focused on footwork. So
Right. That makes sense. Shifting gears here to a topic that you wrote down that I was gonna ask more about. How do you? So, what is the discipline aspect of karate? What does that mean to you? How do you implement that in your daily life?
oh my gosh, everything. Okay, so hmm.
start with the basics of discipline, I'd say.
Yeah. Okay, how do I talk about the discipline of karate? Something that I love so immensely. Okay,
So I'm gonna assume that it starts with, it's not just physical discipline, it's also the mental discipline. Like
yes. Oh,
it's
absolutely.
not just
Okay.
discipline and movement, it's also mental. So
Yeah, definitely. I was gonna say for me, it's more. It's like more mental discipline. I think the way that I started learning it, and that like you start learning it, like as a karate student, is once you and your sensei like have a teacher student relationship, and you kind of understand, like you've had a few sessions to like kind of know, like feel each other out a little bit. Um like they will know how much they can like push you to challenge yourself, and like when you're still learning and stuff, and so they will push you to exert yourself, like physically, like underneath that I have exercise, and so karate is like exercise. It's like vigorous exercise, and they will push you to do that set one more time, do that kata again, um but stronger, like do this set again, but imagine there's an attacker in front of you, and you must not lose. That is like a philosophy of like self-defense, is like, I'm not learning this to win. I must not lose in this self-defense like
right.
situation.
On this day I'm gonna be better.
Mm-hmm,
That kind of mindset,
mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, the bettering yourself every second, like every set that you do, um you you do it better again, and you push and push and push yourself, and there's discipline required to when you're so dead tired and like dripping with sweat, and your instructor is saying again, like there's an attacker in front of you, you need to like and you can, the thing is, you can, when you're that tired, you can you strengthen your mind, and you say, okay, like this time I will better myself. And there's like there's the aspect of discipline where you just discipline yourself, like, I will do this, like I will
Right.
make myself do this, I will do this as hard as I can, and I will exert myself. And it's that aspect of like, it like builds your mental toughness,
Yeah.
which is very very useful.
Yeah, I
A
was
lot
gonna
of
say.
people in the chat like won't know this about me, but I am also a voice student, and so I will sing at competitions, and I sing for my voice teacher, and they will critique me. And a lot of voice students especially, because the voice is so personal to you, it's like your physical instrument, it's like they're critiquing you when they critique your instrument. um but because of the mental toughness that I've gotten from karate, I can take criticism and like apply it very quickly, and not get upset, and I just have like a little like mental toughness, basically.
Right. I was gonna comment on. Actually, I'm gonna comment on both of those things. But like bettering yourself mentally when you're tired is something I like. I wish I did karate way back when I could probably still. And I mean, like, there's no
You can
starting.
do it now. It's
Yeah.
karate's for everyone. Start whenever. Start
Start.
now.
Yeah. But like, I was gonna comment on ultimate frisbee, because we play 8 games in a weekend, 8 90-minute games. Each game you run around as much as a soccer game, if not more. um and you have to really really fight. That's like mentally fight to get through it, and you have to be mentally tough. Especially like I play on defense. I play a position, it's called I'm part of a wall, and it means I just have to be able to sprint back and forth forever, back and forth and back and forth, and then down the field, and then just chase the disc and just to prevent it. And you have to be like, I'm gonna keep going because this disc isn't getting past me. And when you're saying there's an attacker in front of you, like that just like that just sort of like brought up a light bell, right? Like, it was like, wow, there is that mental toughness. There's, like, we're talking about holism. Like, there's a lot of mental toughness throughout athletics, but I don't think there's anything that really does it like martial arts in that, and to that degree. And then, what was I going to say? There was the other thing. You brought up the mental toughness and the discipline, and you brought up the exercise. And those things were related. I'm now forgetting, so we'll keep going.
I pulled up the thing that I was looking for earlier. This is the Dojo-kun, or the training hall oath.
All right.
This is what I recite for Shotokan. You say, Dojo-kun, seek perfection of character, be faithful, endeavor, respect others, refrain from violent behavior. Ooh. And so that is the oath that we like when we enter the dojo when we enter the dojo we recite this, and like we come into karate like thinking about this, and then we recite it at the end, and we go back into the world, and in our other things we will seek perfection of character. Like for me, that's like seeking perfection, and like what that kind of relates to is not being perfect. That is not what it means. Yeah. It is what I was saying before about trying your hardest in every endeavor. Also, like, be faithful is the second one. Endeavor is just like never give your second best.
Right.
Like, always give your best, or else, like, what's the point? Like, you're hurting yourself if you're not giving the best to what you are doing and what you're like.
Yeah. By cheating something, you're also cheating yourself. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Be faithful is one, and that's just like be a faithful part, like just in your life, like all of these things. I'll say it again since it's not up on screen. Seek perfection of character. Like be the best that you can be in karate and in your life. Be faithful. Be faithful to your friends, to like your commitments. Like don't lie. There's so many like applications for each of these. Endeavor. Try your hardest at everything. Don't give second best. Respect others. Be respectful of others. And refrain from violent behavior. So, like, do not use your knowledge to harm people. Nice. Which is very important.
Now that we've said not to use your knowledge to harm people, let's talk about self-defense.
Haha! Alright,
So, yeah, I was going to bring up, because last night we were talking about, we talked a little bit about baseball swings and just and stuff, but like I brought it up because we just like it wasn't last night, it was the night before last, wasn't it? But like we brought up like, what if there was like an intruder or something? I'm like, well, if there was an intruder, I'm just gonna grab this bat and and we talked about the weights of the bats, but we also talked about how we transition power and movement. So like we're talking about self-defense here, but also about movement in general, which I'm genuinely really curious about. But like we're talking about how we turn into a swing, and you're like, oh yeah, that's like you turn into a punch. It's and about how you move through something, transfer your power, transfer your energy. Whether it's I'm swinging a bat at a home intruder, or it's you sparring, or just doing karate movements in general. But what are some like ways that you could describe karate movements that you love?
I love where you're going with this. This is not self-defense.
Yeah, I know. I was saying self-defense, but I was like, wait, my that's like the beauty of ADHD. Sometimes you just get taken elsewhere. Yes. And it's fine, and that's great.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about karate movement, and we can talk about like sort of.
We'll talk about self-defense when it feels right.
Yeah, when it feels okay. Karate movement. Oh my gosh. Okay. Karate is based so much from the core and core strength. Shotokan in particular has a it's called a vibration, and so that's gonna sound like super weird, but especially with punches, there is I'm not exactly sure how to say it, but like to demonstrate. Golly. How do I
Do it.
explain this?
May as well demonstrate if you want.
Just demonstrate?
Like, there is video.
There is video. Okay. Eh, 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 eh. Duh, 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 duh. That is a little weird. Okay, yeah, that works. Okay, so if I was just to like do a forward punch, there is the just like the arm motion, and you
Right.
can see my body's moving a little bit. But in the Shotokan style, there is something you can add called a vibration,
Okay.
where you oh my
Oh.
god, I'm moving too fast, but you like
Yeah, you rip
if I
through
try to
it.
do it slow, you it's like you kind of like rotate your core to
Yeah, that makes a lot
like
of sense.
produce power.
Yeah, it's
Um,
bringing the energy through. That's yeah,
yeah,
I know exact. I think of it as like
yeah.
turning rotational energy to directional energy,
Hmm.
which is something you do a lot in Ultimate and in baseball.
Yeah. Hmm. So that's something that's really evident in Shotokan. In my other style, also in Shotokan is hold on, we're gonna more demonstration. I'm a little bit short. Um, is also hip movement, and that this is really what I was getting to when we were talking about like swinging the bat.
Yeah,
You're talking about going up onto your toe on the
yeah.
end, and definitely with karate. I'll do sort of a side. In Shotokan, there are specific. There is there's like you have your hips straight, and then for the same stance you have your hips tilted back 45 degrees. And so when you block, this is in like common in many forms. You'll block, hips are back, and then when you punch, you use the motion of your hips, and you bring the hips to like perpendicular. So there's the 45, and
Hmm.
then so you'll block, and then use your hip motion to bring it into your punch
That's really
or
cool.
your kick. Yeah, it's less with kick, but definitely
Well, I mean, you
is
kind of
with.
have to use your hips if you're kicking, right? Like it's.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
know that there's a literally a
I
kick
guess
motion you could do
with
without.
kicks it's less rotation and more like
Yeah.
a thrusting motion.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like karate's cool.
Karate is cool.
Body like I don't want to say like body movement, like body optimization, like these techniques have been perfected over centuries and generations,
Yeah.
and they're so optimized for power. There's something different between power and strength. Josiah, you are stronger than me. I'm a smaller person. I am 5'2". I'm a small person. I don't have a lot of strength, but comparatively, because of my karate training, I am a very for my body size. I still have a lot of power.
Right.
I can use my body vibrations, my hip movement to generate body power,
Yeah. That
and
reminds me a
that.
bit of the Kyoshi Warriors in Avatar.
Mhm.
We have a lot of power and then we use our opponent's force against them.
Yes.
No wonder you stand Suki so much.
I do. I stand Suki. Yes.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean though, because like there is a lot of difference between strength and power. There are a lot of really strong people who cannot hit home runs.
Mhm.
They're strong, but they don't know how to use it. There's a difference between having strength and knowing how to use it in different motions. And like I have some powerful motions. Like you take me
Yeah.
with this motion, sure that's powerful, but like I'm not as powerful consistently throughout motions as like you've got the discipline and the body optimization. I want to touch more on body optimization because you brought that buzzword up a bit. And I wonder if you could touch on that a bit more
Um.
if you want to.
I think what I mean by that is what I said earlier about these these martial arts have been honed for generations, and they have taken the best and improvised, or no, innovate. What's a word for innovate? They have innovated new like techniques and styles, and it just keeps getting better. It's like a fine wine. Like, it just, like, with time it keeps getting better, and they have optimized, like, the body movements for the most power and speed that I just love that it's, like, something that is taken from so long ago and has just been refined and oh wait, I guess
Yeah.
like camera like
It's honed,
from, like,
yeah.
long ago, and just has gotten better and better and better. I think it's cool.
Oh, that's absolutely phenomenally fascinating. Let's get into self-defense. I feel like that's a good transition to self-defense.
Mm-hmm.
So what? Yeah. So you go into it unless you want me to question.
Okay. I am the first person to say if you want to like feel more confident in yourself, and you feel like you want to be physically, like, be able to physically defend yourself, like, karate is a great way to go. But I will also say that karate is not self-defense. Karate is basically, what I would say is that
Is it more?
in a real world situation, someone is not going to come up to you and bow and say, "Os," and say, "I am ready to fight you. Are you ready?" Someone is going to come up behind you and grab you and put their hand over your mouth and, like, try to attack you, like, in a very
Sort of ruthless.
in an unbalanced way, rather than, like, where karate, you're on equal ground. You're like, okay, we're coming together. Like, we will bow and respect each other. They have thrown respect out the door. So, in the way that I'm going to relate this back to karate is in, there were, like, a few days, out of the month, or a few, like, sessions out of the month, we would, have, like, a self-defense day, and we would, work on, rather than, like, straight punches and kicks and forms that are, like, have, like, an attacker who's, like, coming at you, like, from the front, we would partner up, and we would work on breaking grips. Like, if someone grabs you on the arm, there's just, like, a breaking a grip like that. If someone grabs you, being able to leverage them and put them in an arm lock, and certain things, like, our teacher taught us how to throw someone off of you if they grab you in a bear hug. Like, if someone grabbed me from behind, I would be able to throw them over my hip and put them on the ground.
You just grab and just.
In forms, there are, like, stylized like, throws and stuff, but not like we would go specifically, and, like, we would have a partner, like, put us in a bear hug, and we would practice the hip motion and the putting the leg out, and then practicing that motion, and someone grab us and practice putting them in the lock, and then switching the arm the other way and putting them in a different lock. And another part of that is when we would learn in karate, you focus on attacking, like, the midsection, or like the face. But, like, we would also, like, during self-defense days, we would say, like, go for the throat, super easy. Go for the gonads. Like, this person has thrown all respect and all rules out of the table. If they're coming to attack you, they do not get the respect of not being kicked in the nuts. That is their choice. That is their choice for attacking you, and you're not attacking them.
They pick the terms of this. They've made their bed. They get to lie in it, in pain, because you just kicked them in the nuts. Yeah,
and so, like, punching or chopping the throat, forehead, jaw, clapping the ears, going for the eyes, like slashing the eyes like with your fingers, or
Do
like,
not try this at home.
No.
Do
This
not
is for,
try this at home.
this. You don't do this.
Disclaimer, do
No,
not.
No.
I'm not getting sued because one of you just tried this at home.
Do us.
Yeah.
No. This is something I've never used these. I've never had to do this, but in karate, or like I would say in my karate class, like in my dojo, we would be taught these so that in real world situations, like we would have ways to defend ourselves when someone doesn't come at you like with a bow and say "Os," and like I will respect you when we do this battle, and we will like pull our punches and like do things like that doesn't happen. And so we learn like karate is not self-defense. Now that I've like explained, now you kind of understand what I mean when I say that.
That makes sense, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever have days where you'd like have people come at you with like bow staffs or weapons or things like that?
No, I think we've just done hand-to-hand self-defense, but there are certain so this is kind of like a different sort of a different topic. So forms have applications, and so most like forms, you aren't just doing like a pattern of movements. Each like movement has an application. Like there is like an attacker coming and you do this, and then there's an attacker from the other side and you look over your shoulder and then you do the thing. And there are certain applications of in a form called basai dai. There's a person in front of you. The very opening movement of the form is there's a person in front of you who is going to pull out a sword, and the first movement that you do is you I don't want to say jump. You rush forward and like push your hands against their sword so that they can't pull it out. And
you
so
resheath it, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, you and that is an application. And today, if someone was going to pull a gun or a knife, and you see someone reaching in their pocket, you immediately rush forward, stop that motion. You know, elbow to the face, knee to the nuts, and then. So there are certain applications that like for your specific question, that was an application I learned for weapons. Like,
yeah. You want to get more into, I don't think we touched on, like, the training methods in specific. We talked a little bit about it, but, like, what are, like, how do you physically prepare yourself? How do you, like, prepare yourself with in terms of skills practice? Like, what would a session look like? What would a workout look like in your dojo?
Okay. So first, like, what a regular class would look like is, people would like you arrive beforehand and kind of like do your own stretches like 5 minutes before, and then everybody lines up. The sensei and the black belts will line up across from the students, and everybody will bow, and then we will say the dojo kun or the oath.
Yeah.
And then one of the students will lead like group warm-ups and stretches. So what are they called? Kinesthetic stretches, like not just like sitting down, not static stretches.
Yeah, dynamic or kinesthetic. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Dynamic stretches. So like
plyometrics.
Leg swings are common. Definitely arm circles, because I have noticed when I started doing Shotokan and doing the vibrations, like my shoulders are just like so crackly. Like just how you've been me, I'll just like my shoulder and be like
sounds like fucking bubble wrap. No, like you've stood up and just went. It sounds like a glow stick. Like it's unsettling to a degree. But it's good. But like that's how I sound sometimes. But the first time I heard you just get up and be crunchy, it was like, whoa. Yo, did I sit on a bag of chips? Like,
so I think something that I can like relate to that is karate has like very extreme movements. Like you're moving, so like my body is like not very strong, but to create the power, I have to like create very extreme and fast motions, and so we physically have to warm up our bodies and like get into the extremes of our ranges of motion and to like be able to warm up to do to go like the 110%, like the endeavor to always like go more and more and more and better yourself. So we would do warm-ups for like 10 minutes, and then we go into like lessons. We go into like training. And so that would mean depending on the day, we can do I forget what it's called, but we'll do like patterns. Like the teacher will say, okay, we're going to like we'll walk across the floor, and we're going to do like a certain pattern of movement, sort of like a form, but like focusing like on a specific like a specific aspect of like something that we're trying to refine. So like usually like you start with blocks. And so like you'll step and like do a block punch, and then do another step and do like a different block, and then maybe like a different strike. And when I say walk across the floor, like physically you will like, you can't see me, but like you will do the steps of whatever thing they have shown you. So you will like step and then step.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Like other times you can go backwards, and you will like walk. You will do like your karate steps across the floor and back. And you will do those in groups. Like that's kind of like in big karate movies, you'll see like huge blocks of students all doing the same motion. That's kind of
in
like,
a courtyard and surrounded by imperial roofing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So there's that. And then the instructor, like as you're doing these, will like come around and individually like pause for a moment and say like, hey student, like work on this thing. Probably not that nice. So just be like, lower your stance, go harder, and you'd be like, yes sensei.
Yeah.
That's part of the discipline. Is it's very disciplined. I don't know what to say. They're just like
it's stern.
They would just say lower your stance, and you say yes sensei. And there's something I really like that. Like I like just being focused, and like it's kind of easy, and like being told what to do and just like go harder, and you're like, okay, like yes sensei, and you like keep going, and like you get so exhausted, and then like for me, after I like finish and like warm down and like shower, like the endorphins hit me because I just like worked out so vigorously, and I will just like I will go into like hysteria, like a laughing fit if something funny happens.
Yeah.
Endorphins are my favorite drug.
Yeah, right? It's like a runner's high. Yeah, yes. No. How does that, like, I feel like that might have, like, so something I experienced with ADHD is rejection-sensitive dysphoria. I feel like you have to really, like, train your mindset to be able to work with that kind of harsh discipline. Because, like, for me, like, I can be good at taking criticisms in the environments that I am expecting to take criticisms. And I think I appreciate, like, as you described, the more direct nature of the criticisms in karate, and I think that helps. But I feel like there are people who might experience RSD in a more significant manner than you or I do. I wonder if do you think that might be a limiting factor for people doing karate, or like a sort of like a gate to get through, a hurdle to jump over?
I would say like karate is not that. Some dojos are like very, very hard style, very like old style. Sensei says jump, you say how high. But you can find a dojo that has like that is more lenient, that is like more like casual. Like I would say honestly, depending on just like the class, like even the same dojo, like some of the dojos I've been in, like I say some of the dojos I've been in.
I
I've done
travel around to JoJo's.
um, like depending, just like on the day of the class, like some days, it can be very, usually, how it goes is if there's more students, it's easier to have like a more structured, I almost said rehearsal, because
Yeah.
I'm a music person, have a more structured session. But if it's just, I was gonna say, so first part would be like, first part of the session would be warm up. Second would be like doing patterns, and then often we would, if you have a big enough dojo, you break into groups and do have one person teaching. Like I might teach maybe like 3 or 4 students, like 3 or 4 like blue belts, like a certain form that they're working on for their purple belt. And so in those situations where it's like the teacher student ratio is smaller, there's less like sensei says jump, student says how high. It's more, you get more feedback, and it's like, okay, so in this like part of the form, I'm looking for like really focus on the hit. Like in those instances, I say like it's definitely less. There would be less like rejection. Like
Yeah, rejection, sensitive dysphoria kind of feelings.
Yeah. And definitely, I think if someone was worried about that and wanted to try karate but was worried about that, try out a dojo. And if you don't like how the sensei or the students do things, find another one. And there's going to be a specific, there's going to be people who will like kind of mesh with you, and
it's about finding community.
Mm-hmm. That karate family.
Karate family.
Yes.
All right, we have to take another ad break. People in the chat, go ahead and bring some questions in while Ella and I talk about what we're going to talk about next, and how we're going to get wrapping this up.
Yes, because I think I've exhausted a lot of my topics, but I would love to answer some questions. If
so start thinking of some questions that you want to ask, and this will be the last segment of the first ever Infodump stream.
Woo!
And commercial break initiated. This is going well.
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised I have so much to talk about, but I shouldn't be, because I was like, you know what I could Infodump about? Karate.
You know, I never had a doubt. You when you get going on something you're interested in, you get going. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Gosh, it's I like that we like as soon as we're like, yeah, just demonstrate. It's just it's good content. I like it. I'm sure people in chat would agree, but just seeing you just like, I'm gonna punch and show you how to really, you know, and that was a bad one. I hooked my arm around. But yeah, I really like you're bringing up the difference between power and strength. That was fun. I really like that.
Mm-hmm. That's something like me, like as a small person, that has like definitely increased. Oh, I should talk about how like karate increases your confidence.
Yeah.
You just like feel strong. You're building muscle. You're like, when you do like the ki and you yell like at the last punch, and you're like, something about like the discipline is like when you can discipline yourself and push yourself to that 110%, and then you're like, I can do that. I can do this. I did this super hard thing, and I'm like sweating and like shaking, and I just like exerted myself, and you're like, I can do that. I can do anything.
Yeah.
It's like, it's great. Very confidence building.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think we should absolutely talk about that. Mm-hmm. And then I'm just waiting for any other questions to roll in. I think we've got like 10 seconds left on this commercial break. Yeah. Well, we're gonna talk about confidence, and then we're gonna let questions come in. Mm-hmm. Alrighty, we're back. And unless I'm wrong about how the commercial break went. But yeah, so during the commercial break, I'm not sure if y'all could still hear. I know that Nelly could probably still hear. Ben, you could probably still hear. Anybody who's subscribed could probably still hear. Subscription. If you subscribe, you get ad-free viewing, because that's how Twitch works. So what's been covered so far? Water, we've covered We've covered the fact that karate's for everyone. We've covered some of the philosophy of karate, some of the discipline, how you exercise through it. We talked about the concept of the karate family.
Or like karate community as
Yeah.
well. That might be good.
Yeah.
For me, it's specifically a family because like my family did it and I grew up doing it, but like they don't have to be your family, but there is a karate community. That is like a very important aspect of karate.
That makes sense. Yeah, and then we also talked about some like key aspects of like key interests. We talked about solid representations of karate in the media. We talked about some misconceptions, including that karate is not self-defense.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Self-defense,
But-
self-defense. But it
if
helps.
you learn like how to strengthen yourself and like be physically prepared like for like a real world event, karate is like a great place to be.
Yeah. So water
They will teach you. They will
Yeah.
teach you karate, and then they will also teach you self-defense.
right. Karate is strengthening the self, and it's discipline of the mind, discipline of the body, and things like that. And then so all right, we're gonna go and order some questions here. We got well, first we're gonna talk about confidence and then questions.
Okay.
So just in the ad break, before we get to the questions, before we continue the questions, I should say, karate is a confidence builder.
Mm-hmm. Yes, karate improves your confidence so much. You would not think like doing punches and kicking the air would do that, but I kind of related it back to the discipline aspect where you discipline yourself to push yourself that further percent, that like 110%, that like continuing like the endeavor aspect of karate, like do your best every single time. The next set that you do, the next repetition that you do it better, do it stronger, do it harder. Like imagine an attacker in front of you and you must not lose. And when you succeed in pushing yourself to that limit and exerting yourself to like your 110%, like when you think you can't go anymore and then you can, and you do, and you discipline yourself and you are encouraged to do that in a healthy way and push yourself in a good way, not until like you're dying and puking on the ground, but like you're so tired and like your arms are shaking and you're sweating, and you do it again and you like do that repetition again and you do it harder, and you do this hard thing and you succeed at it. That is a confidence builder. You're like, I can do this hard thing that I have done, and I've pushed myself, and I have the not self-efficacy, like the self-motivation to push myself to do this hard thing. That is very motivating and confidence building.
For sure.
And also like feeling physically, like building muscle and like getting stronger and feeling like more confident and more like centered in your body helps build body confidence. Wow.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We've got a question from Ben. Did you ever have an, I need to keep doing this moment? As in, after you started, was there ever that point where it went from, this is something I'm doing, to, this is something I want to dedicate myself to, I am passionate about it? Or has it been a special interest from the get-go?
Yes. Interesting. Okay. I don't think there's like a specific, like at this, like there wasn't a specific moment for me, but I just knew how positively karate has affected like my personal state of being, like my mental toughness and my physical toughness and my confidence and like self-assurance, and like karate has like helped me like very holistically, like we were talking earlier in the podcast. Like I am more confident, I am more disciplined, like I have philosophy about like I will always better myself, I will never hurt others, I will be faithful and tell the truth, and I think I just always want to have that in my life.
Oh yeah.
I think it makes me a good person. And I just like actually something like, I guess kind of like a moment is like when I went to PLU and I saw that they had a Shotokan karate club, I was like, I can learn a new style and I can like go to a new dojo and like see kind of like new things. And it was kind of like a mini like pull for me to go to PLU because other places that I were looking didn't have a karate club, and I was like, I
Ooh,
need to go somewhere that has karate because if I don't, I will not be me. I need karate. Karate is me.
that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a question from Nelly. What are your thoughts on Kung Fu Panda? I've learned a lot of life lessons from Master Oogway.
I love Kung Fu Panda. I love Kung Fu Panda. Great question. Great question. Uh, Skadoosh. Um, um, Kung Fu Panda is very good. Kung Fu, what is it? Poe. Poe is, also the other, like, Kung Fu Panda 2 and 3, like, also super amazing. Like, it does not let down. Poe is, like, um, a beginner. Um, like karate is for him, like as it is for all the other masters, like Mantis, Snake, Monkey, Tigress. Um, they Tigress takes a little while, but they meet him where he is, and they like even like his weight, like he is like a stereotype of like being fat and eating a lot, but it is like seen as a strength, and like that is his motivator to like get good to get good
Yeah, get
to
good.
better himself at karate, and it's not seen as a negative thing, which I really like. So karate is for everyone, and I think Kung Fu Panda like says yes to that.
Absolutely. So we're going to continue the line of questioning from Water before we got into confidence. Where he's going like, well, if karate's not self-defense, what is it? Is judo self-defense jujitsu?
uh,
The way I was thinking of phrasing this was
mm-hmm,
that these are styles, they're
mm-hmm,
techniques.
mm-hmm,
They can inform you on how to move your body, on ways to like to optimize your movements to get the most power out of them.
mm-hmm,
But the key you mentioned in martial arts is respect. When you're sparring in martial arts, there's respect between you that you're not going to, you're not going to go too far. You're not going to go and kick in the nuts. You're not going to go and try to fight dirty, in effect. But
mm-hmm.
then you mentioned when you talked about self-defense earlier that respect's thrown out the window. So you can use techniques from karate to break a grip, to
Mm-hmm.
break a bear hug, and that is covered in the teachings.
Yes, absolutely.
But then that's not like self-defense isn't in and of itself karate isn't in and of itself self-defense. You can use the techniques from martial arts to defend yourself, but yet it's not explicitly you don't just take it for self-defense because
I could
yeah,
not have said it better myself. I love
dang,
the way that you said you use these karate motions that you learn like how to do an effective punch and a powerful punch and how to block attacks. But that is not necessarily like you use these for self-defense, but karate is not like, I don't know, the way Josiah said it, the way Spill said it is like very good.
that's good.
You've learned well, student.
Thank you, Sensei. Water says, I guess that's why they had to invent Krav Maga. Krav
Krav Maga.
Maga,
So
Krav
actually,
Maga.
what I will say though is, so judo and jujitsu are grappling styles, and so those are definitely very important for self defense like applications. Like they are like if I'm basically like I wanna learn some grappling styles because that's something that I'm lacking in. That's knowledge that I'm lacking in. Um, what was I gonna say? Oh, so in a standing fight, like if someone grabbed my arm or grabbed me from behind, I can get them off of me. But if I get put on the ground, I don't have the knowledge or the practice to defend myself from the ground. So those grappling styles, and by grappling styles, like kind of like think like wrestling, like they're
Yeah,
there aren't pins, but like there are holds and stuff that you learn, and how to use your opponent's weight against them. Did you say Water brought that up? Those are
Yeah.
very important things to learn for self defense. So that was a good question to bring up. So those grappling styles are important. Basically,
Yeah.
like the bear hug throws that I learned, and the arm breaks, or the grip breaks, not the arm breaks.
Arm break sounds a little bit more violent. That sounds a little bit painful.
Yeah.
Do not try this at home.
And arm locks, those are from like grappling styles.
That makes sense. Have you ever sparred with somebody who specialized in a grappling style?
I have not, and I would love to. Well, ooh. That was... See, the thing that made me go ugh is they would get me in a lock and I wouldn't know what to do. Like they'd get me in like a different like lock that I haven't like that I'm not familiar with, and I'd be like, okay, like pat, all right, I'm done. I'm out.
Makes sense. What is Krav Maga, by the way? I've never heard of that.
It's another style. I think it's like, you know what, I don't know too much about it. I'm not gonna go into, but it has
a modification
like
for the Israeli military, it says.
Yeah, it's
Water
like
says.
more based on like application. I know it has lots of like I might be getting this confused with something else, but I think it has like more emphasis on like kicks and like spinning kicks in particular. I might be getting that confused with something.
I know what I'm Googling after this. That's something I know. Yeah. I'm Googling. They just combine stuff to make hand-to-hand defense for soldiers. Okay, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. All right. Any other questions in the chat?
Questions. No bad questions.
No, there are no bad questions. Outside of martial arts, Water says, what sport do you think karate translates to the most?
Oh, see,
that's a good one.
This is where Josiah and I could go off about like.
Yeah, let's go.
Because
we talked about baseball and sort of using the hips. We talked about ultimate a little bit and using the hips and that's so. God, what others like? Because it's
something gotta be actually that I really like about this question, or like something that I would like to say is that karate helps you build. I don't know how to say it. It's like it gets you very like in tune with your body and specific. It's kind of like
it like helps you know yourself. It's like a class on yourself.
It helps you know yourself. Maybe something that I would like, a phrase that I would say is like body mapping. So kind of like the example that's like comes to my mind first is like you kind of like you look at the sensei or teacher who's ever like teaching you like your new form or the pattern, and you like copy their movements, or they will give you a verbal instruction. They'll say like bring your shoulder back and down, or like you learn how to control your body, and you learn how to make your body move in certain ways. And so when you have that kind of base knowledge, you can really apply your body to any kind of sport or any kind of movement. Like I would not say I like I would not say that I'm a dancer, but in like musicals that I've been in, or like opera choruses that I've been in, and we like have choreographed movements, I am able to pick up on it so fast, because I just like see like the person like demonstrate the movements, and I'm like, okay, I know how to like replicate that like very quickly. That's like a skill that I've learned. Like I've learned how to make my body do certain motions, and so really I think karate because of that skill of learning how to like control your body basically and make it do what you want, like you can apply it to many different kinds of sports.
That makes
I think.
sense. Yeah, like people that try to talk about like, oh, tennis, like, and I think that not only means like, you know, you have to be controlled in your movements, you have to know how to pull your punch so you don't, because like whenever I tried to play tennis, I fucking launched the ball. I would try to do the backswing and just absolutely send it, because I didn't have the, like, I was just all about raw power and not like control and discipline and movement. So like that, you're talking about, there's a lot of different aspects of karate that can go into different sports. Like something I do with Ultimate is I'm very in tune and aware of my mechanics, and like I, you know, as I've taught you how to throw frisbees and throw frisbees farther and throw frisbees with different styles, like, you know, that I'm pretty in tune with the mechanics that go into those motions. But like I'm not necessarily the most body aware person. But like I could see, like, if I like, you've picked up on this stuff so fast, like you picked up on it really fast.
You just say like, move your elbow like this, and I'm like, okay, I like, there is a skill of like knowing how to make your body like do that. It's kind of hard to explain, but like if a master or like if you imagine like a beginner dancer like trying to learn steps, like they can learn the steps but they don't know exactly how to make their body like have the same poise or like the style that the teacher dancer like would know how to do. But I can just like, I can like scan them and kind of be like, okay, like
it's analyzing,
like I see karate analyzation.
Yeah.
And I see like, okay, they're doing this thing where they like I can see like, oh, they move their ankle in this certain way that like somebody might not pick up on, and I know like how to do that. I'm not sure if this is a good explanation, but there is a skill of like being able to make your body like do what you see, like or what someone explains to you, and like being able to replicate that rather than someone being like, okay, move your arm like this. No, not quite like that. Here, let me just like kind of help you, and then they try to repeat it. And, not quite, and then you have to like repeat it and repeat it. But someone with karate just like can like, okay, like this. I keep doing shoulder, but like because with karate,
shoulder movements are common. Yeah,
you have to keep your shoulder for a lot of stuff. For singing, keep your shoulders down. For I think for ultimate, for like frisbee throwing, you said like it's not like from here. Like,
I'm not coming here. Like I come through there. Water brought up, you know, in ballet, you learned a lot about how his body works, especially with how much a head weighs, like stuff like that. Which is, I'm sure Ben, if you're still in the chat, I'm sure you remember learning about how much a head weighs in dance. And then Water also brought up something interesting relating to our discussion of tennis, which you know, just Nellie's laughing about because I talk about just losing tennis balls. But tennis is a duel. It's the mental space might be similar to like sparring in a karate class. You're reacting to your opponent, but there's still the respect there. I like that.
I like that a lot. I really like that. I think that is a good, not metaphor, like
analogy
to make that. Especially like I see tennis players. They have really good discipline to just like to just sprint back and forth across the court, and they see the ball and they sprint, and then like they send it back, and then it comes back at the very opposite side, and they sprint, and they just keep going for these long volleys, and they just keep going and keep sprinting and giving that 100%. And like they train to do that, but like at some point you just like keep pushing yourself, and I'm just like, oh my god, that is
something that also makes me think of the idea of respect. Makes me think of Ultimate, because Ultimate's self-refereed.
Yeah, you said that in passing one time, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
I had never heard of that concept before, but then you said that, and I was like, oh, that makes sense. I kind of like that.
Yeah. At the highest levels, you might have observers, but in general, like, calls are still made by the players. The majority of the time, it doesn't really go to referees. Most games don't have referees. I've been playing Ultimate for like 3.5, 4 years now. I've played in 3 games ever with referees or observers. And even then, you make most of the calls on the field yourself. You go to the observers if you can't reach an agreement with the person you made the call on. And most of the time, like, for example, if I were to do a strip, which means I just knocked the frisbee out of somebody's hand while they still had control. If I just accidentally just, whoopsie and the disc's on the ground, I'm like, yeah, okay, that was my bad. Sorry about that. And then, most of the time there's this awareness of what you're doing and respect for the opponent. Like, yeah, no, I did foul you. That is my bad. And then there's the discipline of running back and forth. And like, not something that I thought was interesting. And like I was thinking about with karate is learning how to take a punch or learning how to get scored on are two different things in athletics. Like, people often don't, like, unless they've done athletics for a long time or if they've done martial arts for a long time, they don't know how to take a loss on a point or to take a hit in a fight. And then you have to control how your emotions go. You can't have your emotions flare up. You can't try to pick a fight. You can't try to pick an argument just because you got scored on. You can't get upset in a spar in the dojo because you got hit. You have to know how to control your emotions, and that's something that I think applies to a lot of sports too. And it would help prevent tilt. I think it even applies to gaming in preventing tilt. If you just get fucking owned in League, and you just get dunked on by an assassin in the mid lane, you're an ADC, you poor ADC main, you have to not, and I'm bad at this, but you have to not tilt. You have to learn how to keep going and like, I will do this, I will get better, I will improve this time. That kind of talk. Ben mentioned like throughout the entire stream, he felt like there were a lot of similarities of ballet in terms of body awareness and discipline. That's yeah. And Nelly said the same with tennis stuff. Water asks again, does anger ever help you in karate? Because the way I think of this question is, and like he says, because it helps an ultimate on defense, which yes, absolutely it does. But like when I think of it, it's like, it's an outlet for anger, but like you're not, like, you don't have like a chip on your shoulder say, I'm just gonna break my opponent's jaw. But like you're using anger and your emotions without having it corrupt them, if that makes sense. That's kind of how I'm thinking of it. Not like, oh, do you get fucking pissed at your opponent and just, go all out?
Suppose I'm a very gentle and nice and not angry person. So it's kind of, I feel like people would be like, Ella does karate? Like, that seems weird. Like, she's punching people and stuff. But, like, when I, spar against, my, like, the people, my dojo mates? Is that a word I can use? Yes. The people in my dojo, I, in my first, dojo, in like my beginning dojo, we always did no contact, no contact sparring unless we had like pads and gear on, and then we did light contact, not penetrating contact.
Right.
And so I have not really learned like the instinct to like hit or connect. And like in my first dojo, the no contact space was like very large, like
the buffer between you and making contact. Is that what you mean?
So in my second dojo, when we do no contact sparring, your goal is to get and because I'm a very high level, my goal is to get paper thickness between me and my target. I need to have the control, even when sparring, to come so close and go full strength and have that paper thickness and not touch my opponent. And so in my other dojo, in my first dojo, like there was probably like an inch or like about that. So I like so when in my second dojo, when we would have to punch closer, I would always like pull back because I don't want to hurt people. I don't want to hurt like my dojo mate and like my teacher. And so something that like I kind of thought that like that kind of helped me is not getting angry necessarily, but I would visualize either like when sparring with a partner and like practicing like with a human person and like trying to hit closer and like that paper thickness, or visualizing when I'm doing forms and patterns. Is I imagine if someone had not hurt me but had hurt my friends and my family, and that is what for me would trigger like kind of not necessarily I guess anger. I guess it would be anger. I'd be like, no, this opponent has like done something
Crossed a
to
line.
me like reprehensible and like irreversible, and now I will like go that next step and like I don't want to say release my fury. That's weird. That's but like
let the anger flow through you.
But yeah, I would use the anger of that to like push me to like kind of like use that like endeavor aspect of like pushing that next percent. Like I'm tired, but like visualizing like this person has like hurt people close to me and using like anger in that way, I could say could be a way. That was a very long-winded answer for that.
No, it's a good answer. I like it. I was gonna. I'm sorry. Right? It is infodump. That's how it works. That's why there's no time limit. And then Leos Van Hoon, I think I said that right. But doesn't anger lead to absolutes and low ground? And yeah, hello, how's it going? I feel like that's something I'm gonna comment on because I was also circling back to what Water said about anger helping on defense and ultimate frisbee. I feel like if like for like, and I'm sure this is more of a philosophical question that Leos is asking, but like I play sports with a chip on my shoulder. I'm very much like I have to prove that I'm good, that I'm better, and that I need to go and get the frisbee and knock it out of the So I just got distracted by a spam bot. /mute. Okay, I'm just gonna right click on Ben. Can you just do it? Ben, you know what to do. Ben.
We love the mods.
Ben, you're a mod. Do the mod thing. Anyways, but yeah, like if like I use anger in my movements, but I definitely, for me, it's like I have to stop myself, and I need to not get pissed when I'm like arguing a call with somebody, even though I'm like I have to prove that I am good enough. I have to not get angry at the person that I'm proving it to, whether it's the person I'm defending or if it's, you know, if it's somebody else in the field. I need to make sure that I keep my level head in an argument of a call. But yeah, what for you in philosophy, how does, like, do you think anger leads to absolutes?
I'm a little bit confused by this question. Absolutes and low ground?
Like it leads you to not be as controlled in your philosophy?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Like going too far.
Yeah.
Can it go too far? I think definitely like Josiah said, there is a danger of like going too far. Like you have to hold that anger back, even though it can motivate you in some ways. Like it's not an appropriate place for that. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, the question was, but doesn't anger lead to absolutes and low ground? And Water expanded upon it, and so there's a little bit of a debate in chat. Well, first of all, Leos also said, I'm sorry I had to, I just got Disney Plus, guys. But also, Water said, you know, I feel like if you have the high ground, you're good. And so there's that kind of discussion.
Oh, interesting. Kind of like...
But yeah, like, I think that if you're, I feel like if you, I think a great way to relate this is actually Zuko's firebending in Atla. Mm-hmm. Because if you're drawing all your power from hate and anger, that's not a stable, reliable source. If you decide to chill the fuck out and not be an edgy, you know, angry teen, you're gonna you're gonna lose that power if you're drawing it from the unreliable and unstable source of hate and anger.
Mm-hmm.
But if you use it in, like, if you're using it as an outlet, but you're drawing your power from your own discipline. So, like, I feel like that's where the question was going. Yeah, you'll turn into Darth Vader if you think in absolutes. I think that's a great way to think of it. It's just, it's a nuance. There's a lot of nuance. You can take your anger out. Like, for example, in boxing, you can take your anger out on a punching bag, right? Like, you can use, you can
I would
take
say,
your
like,
anger out.
in relation to, like, karate and anger, there's so many times I wish I owned a punching bag, because I'll get, like, so upset about something, and I'm just like, I need to punch something. Like, I need to, like, get to that, like, state of, like, so just tired and, like, stressed, and just, like, punch it out and kick it out, and, like, get myself just, like, tired out and just, like, get it all out. And I think karate is good for that.
Yeah.
You know, like, that physical motion and the impact. That's a good way to let out anger, I think. But not against, like, your, like, equals in the dojo and, like, your classmates in the dojo. That is not a good place to let your anger out or let it motivate you. I don't
Right.
think
Yeah. There's more discussion in the chat about you know, if you ever worked in customer service, your anger threshold's pretty high. Fucking yeah. I'm definitely gonna do an info dump at some point. No, don't worry. It's Infodump. We go everywhere. You know, like, it's a karate stream, but the whole point of this podcast is to celebrate info dumping and the beauty of an ADHD conversation, right? We go where our minds take us, and that's beautiful and wonderful and lovely, and it should be celebrated. But yeah, anger thresholds, customer service. Yeah, customer service can be mental karate. Yup.
Get that mental toughness.
Get that mental toughness. Absolutely. Get that discipline. Don't tell off the Karen who's asking for gluten-free organic vegan beer at a small deli. Don't just go and, like, just freak out on them. Just entertain the question for a second. Be disciplined. Keep the smile, even though you're dying on the inside a little bit or a lot.
Respect others.
Respect others. And refrain from causing harm. Karate. Yeah. Is there any sense... Okay, Water asks, is there any sense of cultural appropriation in the karate community? I've heard similar sentiments about yoga, but that has a little more of a religious origin. That's a fascinating question. You might knock a tooth out, but I am Zen in mind, you jock. That's hilarious, Leos. I'm Zen in mind.
So something something I've, like, learned. This isn't gonna, like, touch exactly on the question, but, like, there is an example of when karate is Japanese karate. When it started coming to America, like, Japanese people brought it with them, and in, I'm gonna say, like, kind of like in the golden age of karate, like in the 70s, when my first sensei was younger and, like, chumming around and practicing with all the big karate names in the 70s. Actually, no, probably earlier, before then. There was kind of a debate in the karate community of was it okay to teach white people karate? And that's something, if you want to learn more about that from a Chinese aspect, from a kung fu aspect, I know one of the sequels in the Ip Man movies touches on that. I think because Ip Man is based on a real person. Ip Man is based on a real kung fu master, and he there was controversy of him teaching white people, So if you want to have like a more educated take on that, I would maybe look into that. But there is definitely. Mm, the question was specifically about cultural appropriation, and I don't think it's. I think the question asker was like kind of on the right path where they said like there's that aspect with yoga because it's like more of a religious aspect. Karate is not karate is more of a philosophy and
Right.
less religious or um I don't want to say culturally based, but it's not necessarily religious. Um and today like it is now accepted for you know for karate non-Japanese people to practice and learn and be certified and be masters.
Right.
They're sharing the world. So
I think something that I've learned, and I learned it in study abroad. I've learned it through being a Hispanic studies major. It's if you're not like there's a difference between stealing cultural capital and learning from another culture.
mhm.
I participated in Dia de los Muertos celebrations in Oaxaca, and there's this the difference is I didn't do it as it's Mexican Halloween. That would have been cultural appropriation. But if you're really learning and just in earnest trying to learn about a culture, that is something that is less appropriation and more actual study. That's appreciation. There's a difference between cultural appropriation, which is stealing the cultural capital, and cultural appreciation, which is learning from the other cultures, and really giving it the due respect it needs. You know, and also knowing like which aspects are okay to emulate. Like you can learn, like I'm sure you could get into this with like Native American headdress. Where there's a difference between learning about Native American culture and giving it deep respect, and then deciding, because I've done this, I can put an eagle feather in my hair, right? Like you have to know the limits. There's a different, like there's cultural appreciation, but then there's, I'm gonna steal your cultural capital, and it goes back into appropriation because you've taken something that's too far. It goes too far, and that would show even like people who believe they understand it more than they actually do. Because I'm sure anybody who really studied and understood culture or understood to the best they could, if they really studied, Navajo culture, they wouldn't take Navajo headdress for granted and just I'm gonna use it now. Like that's like there are lines you cannot cross.
Mm-hmm.
And if you really study the culture, you'll know which lines aren't crossable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Go ahead.
One point is before you move on to the next thing, Navajo people don't have.
Yeah,
headdress.
no, I remember I said as soon as I said it, I was like, that's not the right. Yeah, that was not the right one.
Yeah, but
that's why I was like, you heard that pause. I was like, that was my brain going shit.
but that's okay. You're just like, that was the wrong thing.
Yeah. No, it's there are different cultures which each have their different customs and respect the different customs. Mm-hmm. Leos is going further and saying, if you like a country and care for it, go for it. If you just make cliche jokes without any deeper knowledge, just don't. Yeah, that's a good one. Just don't if you don't want to get the deeper knowledge. If you just want to make the cliche jokes, if you just want the aesthetics of a culture, if you just want that sort of skin deep or surface deep appreciation of a culture, and you don't really want to get the through and through, you don't want to understand the nuances, you don't want to understand the histories, if you don't want to really care about the people, then don't do it, right? Like it's all about caring about people and really and that's part of this podcast. We're learning about people and caring about people and learning from them and encouraging people to share what they love in a way that is equitable, you know, and like but it's also like encouraging. Like I didn't say, okay, you live with me, now you're gonna have to do this or else I'm kicking you out. Like, no, there's like, this is equal ground. Just like with sparring, it's equal ground, right? You're on equal levels of respect. But doing that with ADHD and infodumping, which people often look down upon, like, oh, you're controlling conversation, oh, you're oversharing, like, but just like providing a space where there could be equals, there could be respect. Leos is continuing, saying, if foreigners speak my language, I always congratulate them to give them drive, because there's nothing worse than trying and being made fun of.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yes. Out of curiosity, Leos, what language do you speak? I'm gonna guess. I was gonna guess, but I'm not gonna guess. I'm not gonna guess, actually. I have an idea just based on the surname in your name, in your username, but I'm gonna let, you're a big second language talker. I'm a big second, like, I speak Spanish. Ella, you speak German, right?
Yeah. I lived in Germany for a month.
Yeah.
So, a little
yes, I was gonna guess German. Van Hun? That was my guess. It was German or Austrian. Na hallo, Fräulein. Wie geht es? I butchered the hell out of that pronunciation.
Like, what are you saying?
Na hallo? Oh. I butchered the hell out of it. I was like, I whenever I speak a second language, I go default to Spanish, but like, es was pretty good. That's good. I'm trying to think, like, because that's more of like a deep. Yeah, Ella, you can make fun of me later when I'm cooking dinner. Like, it's okay. But like, yeah, for not knowing German. But like, Fräulein is something that is a word that I know from.
Yes.
Yeah, the umlauts are a bit of a mess here for Americans. Yep, umlauts are hard. Umlauts are hard in Spanish too.
Wait, I mean, there's umlauts in Spanish?
I'm not sure if they're called umlauts, but it's the same thing.
Okay.
But like when you say, okay, to say asshole in Spanish, you need to use an umlaut. It's gue. But it's like a ooh sound of the U. You can give me a great tip. What's the great tip? I'm here to learn. Christina, do you mean Christina Aguilera or Christina Aguilera? Dirty. Oh, that I is. Oh, okay. Yeah, Aguilera. Christina Aguilera. What? Yeah, that's true. Okay. I think I know what you're talking about. But yeah. I think we're going to be wrapping it up here pretty soon. If there's one final question in the chat, then, well, I think we can answer one final question, or if it's short too, and then we're going to go cook dinner and watch the Unis Honest end. You have one final question, Leos? What is your final question? Okay. What is your one final question? If your hunting ground were half jungle, half steppe, would you rather be a cheetah or a panther? I like it. Out of left field. Let's go. Shit. I think panther. Cheetahs are very sprint all or nothing kind of thing. Like they need the. Well, actually, no. Wait. I mean, cheetahs are about getting speed, really, really going fast, right? I'm not sure how that would go in the jungle. Also, cheetahs don't blend in the jungle as much. I feel like a panther at night would probably be able to blend in steppe. But cheetahs are pretty yellow and jungles are not as yellow. I don't know. You're disappointed. You love cheetahs and they are fast as a 1960s car. Oh, I love cheetahs too. I just don't know if cheetahs are what you want to do for I'm not sure if you'd want to be a cheetah for hunting in the jungle, you know? I'm not sure. I also could be horribly fucking wrong. I could just absolutely not know anything about cheetahs. What do you think, Ella?
What is half steppe?
Steppe is it's a microbiome or a biome. It's like like elevated grasslands.
Interesting. Jungle.
Half jungle, half stuff. Do you want to search your prey in le jungle, or just sprint them down? I think search and destroy. What about you, Ella? What do you think?
I think panther. I think that would.
Yeah.
I like the idea of like a stalk and like getting close enough that like you just like one pounce and you don't have to chase after them. You just get so close and you're like the Black Panther.
Right. I think
I would be a pink.
Pink Panther. Yep, Pink Panther. There we go. I think cheetahs do. Yeah, cheetahs do stalk.
Yes.
Yeah. Chat, I greatly appreciate you coming out. This has been a great first episode of Infodump. We're gonna be back here. I'll be back here with my friend Sam next Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're gonna be talking about astrophysics. It's gonna be nice and deep and galaxy-brained. And yeah, if you want to see more of this content, make sure to drop me a follow. And you'll get to know when I go live. You can also join my Discord. And if you join my Discord, you will get notifications when I go live. You'll get to interact with me even beyond. You can interact with other people in the community even beyond this platform. And I'm all about building community. Also, if you ever want to appear as a guest on the Infodump podcast, if there's something you are dying to share, if you want to be in this welcoming community to share something you like, share about something that you love so much, please let me know. Please contact me via Discord, contact me via Twitter, whisper me on Twitch, and we'll get you added to the schedule. But for now, I hope y'all have a lovely, lovely evening. And I will see you guys next Friday. Bye.